Hi, I'm Jeff Brown, and I'm about to get in this Tesla and drive up to a location just a few miles from here to show you Elon Musk's next big project, something known as S.A.V. Now, not many people know about this, but it could even help some people make up to an extra $30,000 every year. And in just a moment, I'm going to do a live demonstration here on camera because that's the only way you're going to believe me. I want you to see it with your own eyes. I'm also going to tell you about a little-known company that's supplying Elon with a key piece of technology that's making this new project possible. Now, Elon Musk is a very secretive person about his suppliers, but after months of research looking into public information, I finally found a company that's behind this new project. I'm about to release details on this company, and I'm confident anyone who gets in today will have a chance to make massive gains. You see, this is all part of a $30 trillion trend that many experts believe will dominate this decade. CNBC has reported that this megatrend is likely to dominate financial markets during the 2020s. Let's think about that. $30 trillion. There's a lot of money at stake here. I mean, this is a huge trend that could affect everything. It's bigger than 5G, artificial intelligence, blockchain, or any other technology trend you might have heard of. Just to give you an idea, $30 trillion is enough to buy the so-called FANG stocks, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google. And I'm not talking about buying a stake. I'm talking about buying the entire company, all of them. Not just once, but 3 times. That's why Morgan Stanley recently issued a note to its clients saying, "Move over FANG, the next decade of investing will be defined by this megatrend." It's really shocking most people don't know about this trend because even though this is already a huge opportunity, I believe it's set to get even bigger. You see, we're still in the very early stages. That's why CNBC called it a $30 trillion market just getting started. Bank of America estimates this could reach $50 trillion over the next 2 decades. They even called it a tsunami of assets. And it has already started. There's a mad rush right now like I've never seen. The biggest players on Wall Street are jumping in with both feet. Check out this headline from Yahoo Finance. Goldman and BlackRock are betting big on this new $30 trillion megatrend. The article went on to say there's a new megatrend taking Wall Street by storm, with everyone from Amazon's Jeff Bezos to BlackRock taking notice. It's certain to change the world and our economy as we know it. Goldman Sachs started a $1.5 billion fund to invest in this trend. BlackRock is the world's largest asset manager, and they're going even bigger. They're planning to invest an incredible $1.2 trillion in it. And Amazon founder Jeff Bezos is also investing $10 billion in it. And Amazon isn't the only big tech company that's getting involved. Apple is planning to invest $300 million in this trend. Google is going even bigger and has invested more than $7 billion. The savviest investors in the world are also jumping in. People like billionaire Richard Branson. Warren Buffett has also invested $15 billion in it, and he said he's ready to invest $15 billion more. It's like a mad rush like I've never seen before, and I really can't blame them for jumping in. I mean, these people are rich for a reason. They like making money. And some stocks involved in this trend have been absolutely exploding higher. For example, last year alone, shares of Ideanomics jumped as high as 922%. Plug Power jumped as high as 1,177%. And Fuel Tech jumped as high as 1,407%. Now, normally the stock market goes up by about 10% a year on average, but we're talking about multiples of that. I mean, looking at this last example, anyone who invested $1,000 on that play had the chance to walk away with a little over $15,000. And all those gains happened just last year. That's how fast things are moving, and it's going on across several stocks involved in this megatrend. It is insane. For example, last year alone, shares of DPW Holdings jumped as high as 1,032%. Electromechanica jumped as high as 1,055%. and shares of NIO went absolutely crazy, jumping as high as 2,207%. So I'm talking about opportunities to make 9 times, 14 times, and even more than 20 times your money. And all that just last year. Normally, you'd have to wait years and years, sometimes even decades, to see those types of gains. But these gains are happening at lightning fast speed. Of course, nothing is guaranteed in the market, and investing always carries risk. And I'm not here to promise you'll see gains this high. I'm just showing you what's possible thanks to the power of this megatrend. And I believe Elon Musk's new project will play a key role in this trend. I'm here today because most people still don't know about this new project, S.A.V, and the early stage company that's making it possible. So in just a moment, I'm going to get into this Tesla and drive a few miles from here to show you this new project. I want you to see it with your own eyes. I'm also going to give you more details about the company that's powering this trend. So if you want to take action, please pay attention. This is a fast-moving situation. Elon Musk so far has been very secretive about this supplier, but if he mentioned their name in a tweet, there's no telling how high shares could go. The cat will be out of the bag, and I'm afraid you will have missed your chance. But before we get to that, please let me introduce myself. I'm Jeff Brown, and I am no stranger to technology. I've earned degrees and certificates from Purdue's famed School of Astronauts, the London Business School, Stanford, UC Berkeley School of Law, MIT, and the Yale School of Management. But I'm not one of those academics with no real-life experience. I was an executive at Qualcomm and the president of NXP Semiconductors Japan. These are 2 major public technology companies, and I'm also an angel investor who's made dozens of deals involving private companies. Because of my experience in technology, I've been asked to consult with senior officials of the Department of Commerce, policymakers, members of the National Institute of Standards and Technology, and the Defense Intelligence Agency. I'm also an active member of the Chamber of Digital Commerce in Washington, D.C. And because of my contacts in the industry, I normally see big tech trends before most people catch on. For example, in June 2015, I published a write-up on Bitcoin, and I encouraged people to buy a few Bitcoins. Bitcoin was trading for $240 back then, so anyone who listened to me had the chance to make as much as 13,932% gains. The following year, I picked NVIDIA as my favorite stock, and boom, it exploded 2,186%. By the way, NVIDIA turned out to be the S&P 500 #1 tech stock of 2020. I mean, I could spend all day here giving examples like that. For example, I started covering 5G wireless technology as early as 2017, way before it became a mainstream trend. My 5G presentation from the historic Schubert Theater in Connecticut has gone viral. More than 1.8 million people already watched that. And many of the 5G stocks I've singled out have exploded higher. Stocks like AMD. I picked AMD in 2017 as my favorite technology stock. And look at this, it has jumped as high as 805%. A couple of my other 5G plays are up as high as 225% and 220% as I speak. Now, I can't mention the name of those because we're still holding them in our model portfolio, and it just simply wouldn't be fair to my readers. Am I right 100% of the time? Well, of course not. No one is right 100% of the time, and not every gains are as big like these. But overall, I've done quite well. And the key to my success is simple. I've been able to identify many of the really big and important trends over the years, and yet those trends are nothing compared to what I believe is coming. Because this S.A.V project is part of what will be the biggest trend of the 2020s. And it's not just me saying it. Credit Suisse said, this megatrend is set to dominate investors' agendas in the years ahead. State Street Global Advisors says it's a must-have ingredient in every portfolio. And NASDAQ called it one of the biggest opportunities of the next decade. That's why in just a moment, I'm going to get inside this Tesla and drive to a nearby location to give you a live demonstration. This S.A.V. project will change everything. It could even put an extra $30,000 in your pocket every year. And I'll also give you more details of this company that's helping make this possible. I really hope you have a chance to get in before Elon announces it to the entire world. But before I tell you more about this company, I'm sure you're wondering by now, what is this $30 trillion megatrend? Well, actually, it's just 3 letters, but I bet most people don't even know what it means. I'm talking about ESG investing. As independent financial advisor Nigel Green says, tech and ESG will be the investment megatrend of the decade. In case you don't know, ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. So clean technology is a big part of ESG. But I'm not talking about things like solar and wind power because that's not really what excites me. And S.A.V. has nothing to do with that. Instead, I'm focusing on the marriage between 2 new exciting technologies. That's exciting to me because when you combine 2 new technologies, that's when you normally see the biggest gains. For example, mobile phones were an exciting technology, and so was the internet. And when you combine these 2 things, we got smartphones, right? You could have made a fortune in the companies that were supplying chips to Apple. For example, shares of Skyworks jumped as high as 3,990%. Shares of Lam Research skyrocketed as high as 3,209%. And similarly, Broadcom jumped 3,268%. Just $1,000 invested in each of those right after Apple introduced its iPhone would have grown to more than $30,000 in each case. As you can see, those gains took some time, and they're some of the market's greatest success stories. Again, I'm not promising every play will be a winner or that you'll see gains that big, but it shows you what's possible. And if you miss those gains, please don't worry, because I see another technology marriage happening right now, and this S.A.V. project will play a key role. I'm talking about the marriage between 2 new exciting technologies. The first one is electric vehicles. Now, maybe you think electric vehicles aren't really a new technology. After all, Toyota Prius and Tesla have been around for a while now, and that's very true. Electric cars have been around for longer than actually most people think. Did you know that President William Taft owned an electric-powered car? It was a 1908 Baker Electric that clocked in at a whopping 14 miles per hour. But electric cars never caught on. The technology, it just wasn't developed enough. They didn't have a good range, and charging the batteries wasn't easy. Plus, by the 1920s, gasoline became more affordable, making gas-powered cars much cheaper. So electric cars, they never had a chance. But thanks to advancements in battery technology, that's changing right before our eyes. We're on the cusp of mass adoption of electric cars, and you don't have to be an environmentalist to believe in that. You see, this mass adoption is not going to happen because of environmental concerns. Instead, it will happen for economic reasons. And the company that's supplying Elon Musk will play a key role. Expensive batteries have always been the main factor preventing the mass adoption of electric cars, but that's changing now. According to a new survey from Bloomberg, battery costs have fallen, get this, 89% since 2010, and it's expected to keep dropping. That's why Forbes wrote, electric vehicle market hits its tipping point. The Guardian says the rapid reduction of battery costs is expected to trigger a faster switch to electric vehicles than previously expected. And UBS just published research saying that the shift away from fossil fuel vehicles may be imminent. So car makers that try to hang on to gas-powered vehicles will be left behind. The bottom line is electric cars will become much more affordable than regular cars. And if we look at Tesla, it's already happening. The Tesla Model 3 and the gas-powered BMW 3 Series both sell for about $41,000 in the United States. When you factor in maintenance costs, then the Tesla is already more affordable. As the New York Times wrote, a Tesla may even be cheaper to own than a BMW because it never needs oil changes or new spark plugs, and electricity is cheaper per mile than gasoline. That's a big reason why shares of Tesla have exploded as high as 668% last year alone. And now, in terms of market value, Tesla is worth more than GM, Ford, Toyota, Volkswagen, and BMW combined. Unfortunately, most people miss this Tesla run because they think they're a car company, but they're not. Yes, I know they sell cars, but they're not a car company. This has to do with this new project, S.A.V. And I'll explain everything in just a moment. And when I tell you the details, you're probably not going to believe me, but I'm going to do a live demonstration for you so you can see it with your own eyes. And you'll see how a lot of people could get rich from this, and how very soon this technology could even help you make an extra $30,000 a year. But before we get to that, first, I want to show you this chart because this will have huge investment implications. This graphic shows how new technologies are adopted, first only by innovators, then by early adopters, and then finally by the masses. When it comes to electric cars, we're right here on the cusp of mass adoption. That's why the New York Times wrote, "The age of electric cars is dawning ahead of schedule." The article went on to say that we're rapidly approaching the tipping point when it will be as cheap and maybe cheaper to own a plug-in vehicle than one that burns fossil fuels. A few years ago, industry experts expected 2025 would be the turning point, but technology is advancing faster than expected and could be poised for a quantum leap. In other words, this shift is not going to wait until 2025 as experts were predicting. It is happening right now. And that's very, very important because it's during this transition to mass adoption that you can see the biggest gains. It's why Bloomberg wrote that this market is poised to become explosive. We're already seeing some massive gains in companies involved in this booming industry of electric vehicles. And it's not just Tesla. Companies that make the batteries, companies that mine the lithium, or those working in the charging stations, you name it, they are all exploding upwards. Look at Chinese battery and electric vehicle manufacturer Condi Technologies. Shares jumped as high as 532% last year alone. Or look at lithium mining company Lithium Americas Corporation. As you probably already know, lithium ion is the most common battery type in modern electric vehicles. For that reason, shares of this lithium mining company jumped as high as 641% last year alone. Or look at a company called Arcimoto Inc. They make a three-wheeled electric vehicle known as FUV, which stands for Fun Utility Vehicle. Shares have jumped as high as 1,660% last year. I know, it's crazy, right? Last year, the market went up about 16%. Which is a really good return to most people. But these examples I just gave crushed those gains. We're talking about beating the market by more than 100 times. And that is why we have no time to waste. Now, most people have never heard of these firms. When they take off, they can outperform the market. Of course, they're riskier than buying an index fund. The key is to spot them on the way up. But literally, every day you wait, you could be leaving tons of money on the table because I believe the biggest gains will happen now during this transition to mass adoption. Now, I know that when you drive on the roads today, you still see mostly gas-powered cars, but that is changing very, very fast. Pretty much all the automakers are rushing to transition from gas-powered to electric cars. Look at Ford. It's launching its first all-electric car, a Mustang Mach-E. This is a poster child for American muscle, and it's making the shift. If this doesn't tell you that electric vehicles are taking off right now, I don't know what else will. And Ford is not alone. Volkswagen is planning to launch 70 new electric models by 2028. General Motors just launched its battery-powered 2022 Hummer EV. It sold out minutes after its first unveiling, and that is just the beginning. The CEO of the company said that GM will be all electric sooner than people would think. That's right. General Motors is saying 100% of their cars will be electric, and that's happening across the industry with all the models. Toyota is planning to launch a new electric car with a range of 310 miles that you'll be able to recharge from 0 to full in just 10 minutes. And the CEO of BMW just announced that in the next 2 years, they'll build 250,000 more electric cars than originally planned. All of the automakers are rushing towards this shift because they are afraid they will be left behind. That's why the website Electrek wrote, 2021 is going to be the year for all electric cars and should greatly accelerate the electric revolution. There are so many new models hitting the market that it should shift the entire industry. So this isn't something that's years away. This is happening right now, and anyone who doesn't act risks being left behind. In fact, if you didn't invest in this market in 2020, you already missed some incredible opportunities. For example, look at the company S.A.V Energy Technology. They make lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. Last year alone, shares popped as high as 1,622%. Or look at what happened with shares of Ohio electric van maker Workhorse Group. It skyrocketed as high as 1,887%. Shares of Chinese EV maker NIO jumped even higher. Some people have called it the next Tesla. Their shares jumped as high as 2,207%. Again, past performance doesn't guarantee future results, and these were some of the best gains from this market. But think about that. Last year, every $1,000 invested in the stock market would have returned just $160 in profits. The same $1,000 invested in NIO would have returned $22,070. I know, it's insane, right? We're talking about making almost 140 times more money. These massive gains are happening because, like I've been saying, we're on the cusp of mass adoption, and that's when the biggest gains will happen. And it's not too late for you to jump in. So if you missed those big gains from last year, please don't worry, because thanks to this company that's supplying Elon Musk for this new project, you'll have a second chance. And remember, so far, I talked a lot about electric vehicles, but that's just one part of the equation behind S.A.V. The second part is artificial intelligence. That's right, I'm talking about the marriage between electric vehicles and artificial intelligence. And Tesla is a great example of that. Remember when people used to think Amazon was just a bookstore? Anyone who made that mistake missed out on 171,194% gains as Amazon went from selling books to dominating all of the retail industry. People are making a similar mistake with Tesla now. Just like Amazon wasn't a bookstore, Tesla isn't a car company. In fact, check out these recent headlines. Elon Musk is a total fraud, said the New York Post in July of 2018. Nothing Elon Musk has done has stopped the bleeding at Tesla, and things look like they're going to get worse, said the Business Insider in May of 2019. Morgan Stanley slashes worst case price for Tesla to $10. Bloomberg in May 21st of 2019. Most people missed Tesla's huge rally because of headlines like these. The mainstream media and most analysts think Tesla is just a car company. But I understood very early on that Tesla was much more than that. Check this out. As early as November of 2018, I wrote, when I think about Tesla, I see one of the leading artificial intelligence companies in the world. This is the incredible part that most people don't see or understand. Tesla is designing a software AI platform to operate cars and trucks. So around the same time, most people were telling you to avoid Tesla. I was saying it was time to buy. Well, that's actually an understatement. I was pounding the table. Later in January of 2019, I also wrote this. What Wall Street has missed and is still missing is that Tesla is much more than just a flashy electric vehicle company. Tesla is really a software and artificial intelligence company that is leading the way in both the self-driving space as well as EV batteries. I'm telling you, when the market catches on to what Tesla really is, $300 will seem dirt cheap for the stock. We can expect Tesla to be trading anywhere between $450 and $600 within the next 36 months. The last time I looked, shares were trading for more than $700, just like I predicted. If anything, I underestimated how fast shares would rise. Shortly after I published that note, shares exploded as high as, get this, 1,481%. It's funny, I just saw a note the Royal Bank of Canada sent to its clients saying, there is no graceful way to put this other than to say we got Tesla's stock completely wrong. Wall Street is finally waking up, and like I've been saying, most people missed that big rally because they thought Tesla was just another electric car company, but they're not. They're an artificial intelligence company, and Elon's new project known as S.A.V. proves it. I'll give you a live demo in just a moment and tell you more details about the company that's supplying Elon with a key piece of technology that's making this possible. As you're about to see with your own eyes, this could even help you make as much as an extra $30,000 every year. But before we get to that, let me explain why Tesla is an artificial intelligence company. You see, every other car maker buys or builds an engine and a chassis. Then they fill in the rest of the details, and only then they write software to assist in controlling the car. Tesla does exactly the opposite. It designed its software first, and then it built a car around it. The software comes first. The hardware, chassis, engine, tires, seats, etc., they come after. This allows the company to upgrade each car several times throughout the year. If you have an iPhone, this should sound familiar to you. When Apple has an update to its operating system, you get an alert that looks like this. Something that says an update is now available, right? Well, Tesla does the same thing. Anytime Tesla has a software update for its fleet of cars, it simply pushes it out. And that's a big deal because that's how they're leading us into the next stage of transit, the future of transportation, what I call the marriage between electric vehicles and artificial intelligence, where cars will be fully autonomous. You see, just recently, Tesla pushed out a new update for its self-driving software, and it is a game changer. Here's how Tesla described it. When full self-driving is enabled, your vehicle will make lane changes off highways, select forks to follow your navigation route, navigate around other vehicles and objects, and make left and right turns. This is all part of Elon Musk's new project, S.A.V, and it stands for Shared Autonomous Vehicle. And it could put an extra $30,000 in your pocket every year. Before I explain exactly how, let me give you a demo right now. I know you probably heard about self-driving cars before, but most people think that's years away, and that's a mistake. It's already happening. Let me show you. All right, I'm here on a beautiful day inside of a Tesla Model 3, and while it might look like I'm going to be going for a drive, actually, I'm going to have the Tesla drive me. So I've set an address into the navigation system, and I'll show you how simple this is. Simply 2 clicks down, and the car drives by itself. Now, I've pre-scheduled a location, but I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the ride. So we're on a busy surface road right now, and as we look at the screen, we can see the AI actually identifying cars that are in our path, and it uses that information obviously to gauge a safe distance. It automatically brakes in order to maintain distance with the cars around it, and we can see all the cars in the adjacent lane as well showing up. This truck here, and we can actually see the difference. We can see that it's a truck versus a sedan here, and we saw it pull right into the lane next to us. So we're just taking off right from a red light to a green light. No need to touch the accelerator or the brakes. All right, we're getting ready. We're just about to hop on to I-95 from a surface road. car just pulled into the lane and we're taking a turn right onto the on-ramp. And now we're traveling 65 miles an hour along with the rest of the traffic. And the car even identifies the words merge and the arrow on the street, preparing the car to merge into the next lane. And we can see this is quite a busy environment. The highway is, all 5 lanes have cars in them, merging and switching lanes. So the incredible thing about these cars, the Teslas, is they really are a car designed around a computer. And inside of the vehicle is essentially a supercomputer. They're made up of very custom chips, graphic processing chips, that actually run the software algorithms. That's the artificial intelligence, which is exactly what enables the self-driving mode. And of course, around the car, there's several cameras and other sensors that help the car, the AI, basically see the road and all of the objects on the road that it needs to be aware of to drive safely. Now, as you just saw, this is not science fiction. It is already happening. Tesla cars have already driven more than 4.5 billion miles on autopilot to date. That's what's going to make S.A.V. possible, giving you the chance to make an extra $30,000 a year with little effort. Please let me explain. When you own a car, it just sits idle in your garage 95% of the time, right? Now, imagine this. You arrive at your work in your Tesla, get out of the car, and then press a button on an app on your phone that instructs your Tesla to join the fleet. While you're at work, your Tesla is out driving itself, giving rides, earning money, and returns back to your office at the end of your workday. Imagine that. Your car becomes an asset, literally generating income for you every day. That's what's called a shared autonomous vehicle. And that's exactly what Elon Musk is planning for Tesla. You'll pay less than $50,000 for a Tesla, but once that car is part of a robotaxi network, it could generate about $30,000 in gross profit per year. If you think about it, the moment you drive a new car off a dealer's lot, it starts to lose value really fast. But with Elon's new project, your car could be able to put tens of thousands of dollars in your pocket every year. That's why Elon Musk recently said, it is financially insane to buy anything else than a Tesla. The Washington Post even wrote an article about it and called it Silicon Valley's holy grail of transportation's future. Based on the expectation that it could enable customers to deploy their cars as driverless robotaxis, making the owners money even when they would be typically parked in the garage. Make no mistake, this will be the future of transportation. That's why one of America's top futurists, Peter Diamandis, recently said, the era of the internal combustion engine car is ending. From here on out, it's all about electric vehicles and autonomous ride sharing. While personal vehicles currently cost 53 cents per mile, autonomous electric vehicles are expected to vastly undercut this threshold at only 4 cents a mile. In other words, this transportation would be 92% cheaper. Of course, if you still want to drive a gas-powered car, they will still be available. We just won't have as many choices as we do today. Most cars will be electric. But here's the important question. How can you profit from this trend? Well, Tesla is a great company and it's leading this revolution. Competitors will have no way to compete with Tesla. Each Tesla car is connected to Tesla via a wireless network, and its fleet of self-driving cars is collecting driving data, images, performance data, etc. That's everything an AI needs to learn and get smarter every single day. Every time a Tesla car is out on autopilot, the AI is getting smarter. It's like each car is connected to a central brain. So every time one car learns something new by driving on the road, all cars learn that new thing. That's why no other company on the planet has the network in place nor the data to compete with Tesla. But there's a problem. Shares are now trading above $700. They were cheap when I wrote about them back in 2018, before they went up 1,481%, but that's no longer the case. That's why today I want to share an opportunity that's even better than Tesla. You see, these Tesla cars have a camera mounted behind the windshield. It's that camera that provides visibility in front of the car. It captures front images over up to 250 meters, and those cameras use this image sensor I'm holding in my hand. Like I said before, normally Tesla is very secretive about its suppliers. Good luck finding that information on their website or even on their SEC filings. But after countless hours of research, I found the company that's making these sensors for Tesla. And here's the good news. While shares of Tesla are trading above $700, the company behind this technology is trading for a price that's 95% cheaper. So that means there's a lot of upside potential. Now, if you look through Tesla's latest annual report and look for the name of this company, you won't find it. And as far as I know, Elon never mentioned the name of this company in one of the company's presentations. Like I said, they're very secretive with this kind of stuff. For example, I looked through their latest annual report and they did not mention the name of this supplier anywhere. And as far as I know, Elon never mentioned the name of this company in one of the company's presentations. But here's the good news. I put all the details inside a special report that I'd like to give everyone access to right now. It's called How to Invest in Tesla's Secret Supplier. Inside this report, I'll give you all the details on this company, including its name and ticker symbol. This company is in the perfect position to profit from this marriage between electric vehicles and artificial intelligence. Fortune magazine even named it as one of the fastest growing companies in America. You see, aside from this sensor that's used in Tesla, this company makes more than 10,000 other car products, mainly semiconductors, including power semiconductors that help bring the cost of batteries down. And that's a big deal because electric vehicles require a lot more semiconductors than regular cars. It's estimated that a regular car has about $100 worth of semiconductors. An EV will have as much as $500 worth, so 5 times more. As we transition from gas power to electric cars, we'll need a lot more semiconductors. Remember when I said that General Motors announced they'll soon be a 100% electric car company? Well, this company is also supplying General Motors too. So as all of the automakers continue to shift to EV, this company stands to make a fortune. But remember, we're on the cusp of mass adoption, and that's when I believe we'll see the biggest gains. If you wait too long, you will miss out. There's also always a chance that Elon will tweet the name of this company or mention it in one of his presentations. You never know. If that happens, there's no telling how high shares will jump and you'll have missed your chance. So we really have no time to waste here. I already showed you what happened to Tesla. It went up 1,481% after I wrote about it. Anyone who waited missed those big gains. Now Tesla is too expensive. But this company that's supplying this technology to Tesla is not. There could be a lot of upside here. As with any investment, nothing is guaranteed, so you shouldn't go all in. The key to building a huge technology portfolio is to make several calculated investments spread across a number of breakthrough technologies. This is where my work can come in. And that's why I want to rush this report to anyone who's serious about this opportunity. All I ask in return is that you try out my monthly research service, the Near Future Report, at no risk to you. That's right, you can try it for the next 60 days with no risk to you for your subscription. And when you do, I'll immediately send you this report. So, how does the Near Future Report work? Well, that's where I publish my best investment ideas every month. I call it near future because the future is coming much, much faster than you think. Technology is moving so fast that it's really hard for the average person to keep up. By the time they hear about it from the mainstream media, it's already too late. Shares have already popped, and the big money has been made. For that reason, a lot of people end up missing out on big investment opportunities, and that's where I can help. I was a technology executive for 25 years, and I've done dozens of deals as an angel investor. So I built great contacts in the tech space. That allows me to see tech trends months, if not years, before they become mainstream. And that is my goal in this monthly publication. You will hear about the most exciting technology trends before they become mainstream. Right now, our model portfolio is well diversified across the top trends in technology today. I'm talking about artificial intelligence, machine learning, genetic editing, precision medicine, cloud computing, and 5G wireless technology. In fact, I was one of the first analysts who started covering 5G. And I am very excited about 5G because it will enable new technologies like self-driving cars, augmented reality and virtual reality, remote surgery, and even holographic telepresence. And I just finished a brand new report on a very exciting 5G company that's trading below $5. And I wrote this report right after my 5G Heartland tour. I traveled to almost 20 cities around the US, and this footage is proof that 5G is up and running in places like Des Moines, Omaha, Memphis, Little Rock, Kansas City, and countless other Heartland cities. I experienced 1.5 gigabits per second without any delay in many of those places. That's 150 times faster than the average speeds of my own hometown's 4G wireless network. But here's the thing. To get that kind of speed, you need to be in range of a 5G cell tower or base station. That's why most Americans still don't have that kind of speed. But this company that's trading for less than $5 could help change all of that. They're going to bring those 5G speeds to every city block in the world. That's why I'm confident that investors who jump in now stand to make huge gains. I put all the details of this company in another special report called My #1 Pure 5G Play, and it is yours for free the moment you try out the Near Future Report. Look, I know we talked a bit about my track record before, but please let me remind you, I picked Bitcoin right before it exploded as high as 13,850%. I picked NVIDIA as my favorite stock in 2016, right before shares exploded 2,186%. I recommended AMD in 2017 as my favorite stock, and boom, it exploded as high as 805%. Then when everyone was telling you to avoid Tesla like the plague, I was pounding the table to buy shares, and since then, shares have jumped 1,481%. It's because of this track record that some people consider me the #1 tech investing expert in America. Now, of course, this is my highlight reel, and remember that all investments carry risk, and past performance does not guarantee future success. So, what can you expect from the Near Future Report? Well, rather than me telling you, let me share some notes from my readers. I have been a loyal subscriber for some time now and greatly admire and appreciate the work you do to bring us readers such quality recommendations. Your newsletters are well worth their weight in gold, said Brian Z. I just wanted to let you know how much I appreciate the Near Future Report. I find Jeff's observations very interesting. Well worth the subscription. Keep up the good work, said Sandra M. Congratulations on another blockbuster month and an excellent piece of research work that you have shared with us today. Just finished reading it, and what a wealth of truly valuable information. Very rare and hard to find, said Kyle O. Just wanted you all to know that this is the most trustworthy news and picks I ever came across. Hands down, my portfolio is nothing now but Jeff's picks, and I'm very pleased with how they are performing. The best newsletter published, period. Keep up the great work, said Leonard S. I will. My readers are happy because our model portfolio is on fire. Take a look. We're up in almost all of the positions as I speak. The only position that's in the red is down by a single digit. And I'm not talking about small gains either. Some of these are as high as 118%, 282%, and 351% as of mid-March. So how can you get started? Well, Normally, a 1-year subscription to the Near Future Report costs $199. But because of this incredible situation, I want to do something special today. You see, we're on the cusp of mass adoption of electric vehicles, and that will only happen once. And it's happening right now. Like I showed you here today, this is all part of a $30 trillion trend. And according to Bank of America, there's 20 trillion more on the way. Everyone is getting in. I really don't want you to miss out on this megatrend. So I don't want price to be an issue. That's why I've prepared a special discount for you. But before I give the details, I almost forgot to tell you about another major opportunity I'm following right now. It's a huge opportunity created by the pandemic. You see, the pandemic was terrible for a lot of businesses. For example, it's estimated that 16,000 restaurants went out of business, but many other companies are thriving in this new normal. The pandemic has forced entire societies to adopt and rely on technologies to continue day-to-day operations. As a result, shares of the companies behind those technologies are exploding higher. Look at the company DocuSign, for example. They're the leader in digital contracts and signatures. They allow people to sign documents electronically so you don't need to do it in person. It's perfect for a pandemic. In fact, I recommended it in the pages of the Near Future Report. And so far, shares have skyrocketed as high as 407%. Most people would have to wait years and years to see those kinds of gains, in some cases, even decades. But the pandemic has triggered a boom in these types of stocks. Look at what happened with shares of Zoom. I think at this point, everyone has done a Zoom call. Businesses and schools across the country relied on Zoom to operate during the lockdowns. No wonder shares have absolutely exploded during the pandemic. Anyone who bought shares when the company went public in 2019 already made more than 10x their money. But if you missed on those big gains, don't worry, because I just put together a special report called The New Economy: 5 Stocks That Will Soar in the Post-COVID World. As the name suggests, inside this report, you'll find not one, but 5 stocks, each with the potential to multiply your money many times over. This report is also free when you try out the Near Future Report. Look, I know I've covered a lot of ground so far, so just to recap, here's everything you get when you take this risk-free subscription to the Near Future Report. 12 months of my best investment ideas. Every month, you'll get a brand new issue of the Near Future Report with my top way of playing artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, 5G, robotics, self-driving cars, and all the most exciting technology trends of our time. Bonus number 1, how to invest in Tesla's secret supplier. Inside this special report, you'll find details of the company that's not only supplying Tesla, but also playing a key role in the mass adoption of electric vehicles. Bonus number 2, my number 1 pure 5G play. In this report, you'll get all the details of this 5G stock that's trading for less than $5. And bonus number 3, the New Economy: 5 Stocks That Will Soar in the Post-COVID World. This report will show you 5 companies that will thrive in this new normal. Access to our model portfolio where you can see all the current open positions. Full support. My customer support team is located in Delray Beach, Florida. Please feel free to call or email them for any help you need with your subscription. But please remember, they cannot offer personalized investment advice. And you'll also get full 24/7 access to our members-only website. Remember, the normal price for a 1-year subscription is $199, but today you'll get a very special discount. It's a discount of $150. That means today you can gain access for 1 year for just $49. That covers a full year of access. That's 13 cents a day. And I'm not even asking for any type of long-term commitment. You could just try it out and decide later if it's right for you. I'll give you 60 days to test out the service, and if during that period you find that you're not getting life-changing information, or for any reason at all, you can simply call our customer service team and cancel your subscription. We will give you a full refund, no questions asked, and we'll let you keep everything you received as a subscriber at no charge. That's right. You can keep all the issues. You can keep all the special reports. You can keep everything. This means that there's no risk to you at all in signing up. To get started, simply click on the button below. You'll be taken to another page where you can review everything one last time. Like I showed you here today, many of the companies involved in this booming electric vehicle space are soaring higher. Condi Technologies jumped as high as 532% last year alone. Lithium Americas Corp jumped as high as 641%. Arcimoto jumped as high as 1,660%. CVAC Energy Technology popped as high as 1,622%. Ohio electric van maker Workhorse Group skyrocketed as high as 1,887%. And shares of Chinese EV maker NIO jumped as high as 2,207%. All of these massive gains happened just last year. I mean, just in this last example, had you invested $5,000 in that company, just a few months later, you'd have more than $115,000. And now I found a company that's set to be the next big winner of this electric vehicle revolution. Please remember, there's no time to waste. Electric vehicles are on the cusp of mass adoption, and as you can see from these incredible gains, things are moving at lightning fast speed. That means that if you wait too long, you could be leaving a ton of money on the table. I believe this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This mass adoption will only happen once. If you miss this, there won't be another chance. And if Elon mentions the name of this company anywhere, there's no telling how high it could jump. I'm sure you'll make the right decision for you and your loved ones. Please click the button below to get started.